I just created this 3D scene from a single image, generated multiple facade variations in seconds, and much more using only one platform, Rendair. But before I teach you those advanced workflows, we must first start with the basic techniques before we work our way up. Starting at the beginner level. So right off the bat, we're going to start to create a mood board from a rendering. So we have this reference interior image, and I want to create a mood board with the various materials and furniture elements within the scene. So I added a text prompt, I adjusted the aspect ratio the way I wanted it, and you can include reference images if you need some additional assistance. But from there, I'll click generate and we'll create the results. So if you want to set up this exact workflow just like I did, what you'll do is go down to this bottom toolbar, click the plus sign, upload an image. And so I have this interior scene. I'll go back down, click on the apps, and then it opens up on this right side the list of apps that you can bring in to your whiteboard. I'll do render mood board. I'll connect the image node to the app, and then I can type in a text prompt, create a mood board with the materials and furniture from the base image. And then I'll generate. And the nice thing is you can generate multiple iterations at a time. So while I have this first generation going, I'm also doing the second generation. These were the results of the mood board. So for this first image, we generated variations. This first one wasn't perfect, but the second one I liked a lot more. It started to differentiate the different swatches and materials, as well as calling out the fixtures and the furniture that we wanted to select from this rendering. Now for the second iteration, this is the mood board that we created. Again, did a good job distinguishing and identifying the materials and the colors within the space, as well as some furniture elements that were pretty key. The elements described in the mood board are pretty similar to what was in the original image, so I think the consistency is something to note. Now let's use the mood board to reference a text to render prompt. So right now we have a text prompt and then an image style that we've selected. We'll do realistic, select that style, select the model that you want to generate in. We'll do Nano Banana Pro, adjust the aspect ratio, the sizing, and then we'll drag and link the nodes to the reference images and then generate the results. And just like that, we got our first rendering from a text prompt and a reference image of a mood board. In this rendering, you can see some familiar elements like the lighting fixtures above the island, as well as the same wood, grain textures, and materials and furniture around the scene. And then there's some new additions. You can also see the outdoor view of the coast and the cliff that was used in the text prompt. So overall, I think this did a great job, not only incorporating the text prompt, but also the reference image and everything that was a part of the mood board and bringing it in to this rendering. Now let's move on to the sketch to render feature, which allows you to turn a sketch like this and combine it with a text prompt to generate a final rendering. For this, we're going to generate a watercolor style rendering. And to change that style, we'll go into here, click on watercolor, and select that. But as you can see, as I go through this, Rendair makes it super easy to work through these workflows, generating multiple results, but also having the flexibility and freedom to change between different prompts, image styles, and AI generation models. So here's the result from this original sketch. Let's kind of compare them side by side to the output of this watercolor. So right off the bat, you can see the structure was maintained fairly well. So we'll hop into a larger version of this, and then we can look at the side by side. So there's a little bit of an inconsistency between the 3D massing, but for the most part, it did a really good job. It enhanced the right details, and also the watercoloring represents accurate materials. But for a university campus, I feel like this scene, it doesn't have a lot of people, but I can use the populate render tool to connect that rendered image to that tool, and then type in a text prompt to populate the scene with more students walking around campus with backpacks and books, and we'll generate a result real quick. And just like that, we were able to populate the scene of this university campus to make it feel a little bit more lively. Now, even though it's still an early on watercolor rendering, I think adding the people makes the scene feel a little bit more realistic. So far in the beginner level, you've learned how to create AI mood boards. And then we used the mood board characteristics to populate a realistic interior scene. We also were able to turn a sketch into a watercolor style rendering, and then populate the scene with more people to make it feel lively. But we're just getting started because that's just the beginner category. Next up is the intermediate level, where we'll be able to turn floor plans into floor plan renderings and change your 3D models into realistic final renderings. So starting with the floor plan, I have this floor plan input image that I want to render. And so now that we have the base image node connected, I have a prompt to render this floor plan in a super realistic manner, adding volume to the walls, adding texture, furniture, and materials. And then I'm also going to make sure the style is 3D realistic. So this is our rendered floor plan, and this is what it looks like compared to the original design. So let's see how well it actually kept the consistency. So it did make it a little bit more 3D, but in terms of keeping the fixture, the furniture, and the assets within the floor plan, it did a great job. It also added pretty accurate materials and shadows to the space. Now I feel like it added an exterior tile to that kitchen area, but other than that, I feel like this was a huge upgrade from the existing floor plan that we inputted. Next up, I want to show you how you can use your 3D model screenshot and transform it into a realistic render. So this 3D massing model that we have right here, I'm going to input it into this app and also provide a pretty detailed prompt. And then from there, I'm going to do a realistic image style with the Nano Banana Pro model. And then I'm going to generate. This is the result from this 3D massing to the final rendering. Now it obviously had to change the structure a little bit because it was going from more of a vertical aspect ratio to a horizontal aspect ratio, but I think the results are pretty good. I like the coloration and the style this rendering provides, but I want to try out a few more iterations. This time I used an aspect ratio that is a little bit more suitable for the original input rendering. And so as you can see, the consistency results are almost identical. And I'm pretty impressed with the final output of this rendering. I think the colors are good as well as the overall lighting of the scene. But I feel like I want to test out a few more iterations. So that brings us to the advanced level of testing render variations. So from the renderings we just created, I selected this image and then brought it into the render variation tab. And I went through a couple transformations. I first started off with changing the facade to more of a wood facade. And then from there, I used more of a concrete panel as the material of choice. We tested out more of a Corten steel style, went with wood and brick. I also added a variation of glass and frosted glass, and then tested one final iteration with more of an extruded brick pattern. Now all these variations did an excellent job of keeping the existing massing and structure of that image. As you can see, nothing else was really changed other than the sky and the materials of the building facade. So this tool is essential when you're wanting to test out variations, because not only does it give you consistent results, but it gives you a quick and easy way to see how different things look without having to remodel or reapply materials. But we're not done yet, because there's two more advanced features that I want to show, starting with the image to video feature. So I'm going to take the first frame from the 3D model screenshot that we had, and then the last frame is the variation with the wood slat design. And so I'm going to create a prompt to show transformation of the massing from the 3D model to the final rendering. And then showing the materials, lighting, and context being added. I can also use the prompt assistant to improve the prompt and hopefully adding some more details and smoothing out the overall prompt. So I'll accept that. I can go into the advanced settings and then change the duration. I'll just start with 5 seconds and hit generate. So let's check out the results of this video generation. I thought overall it was a pretty smooth transition from the 3D model to the final image generation. I thought that turned out pretty well, even though there was a few AI hallucinations with the buses running into each other on the ground level. And that brings us to the final step in the workflow, which is image to scene generation. This new feature allows you to import a single image and create a full 3D scene. So to do that, let's go back to that first rendering we created of that interior scene from a mood board. So we'll connect that reference image, type in a text prompt, or more like use the AI prompt assistant, and then you can select the model that you want to use. I'm going to start off with draft mode just because it's the lowest cost and I want to see how it actually turns out before I want to spend a lot of credits. Okay, now the scenes have finally generated. Let's go first and check out the draft scene. Obviously going into this, because it's labeled the draft, I knew the quality wasn't going to be as good. but you can still see the characteristics from that main reference image that we brought in that's being kind of showcased in this 3D scene. But as you notice, as I rotate behind the camera, it started modeling some existing context as well that we didn't show. So it's starting to piece together and infer different things. So I'd like to think if you added in more reference images, it could more accurately depict the scene that you're looking for. Now let's go and check out the higher quality version of this. So right off the bat, the quality is 10 times better, but because the quality is better, the imperfections are that much more noticeable, especially with the lighting fixtures and some of the inconsistent materials that are being used. But one thing I noticed as we rotate around the scene is the area behind the camera is rendered a little bit differently. So obviously, because we don't have any reference images of that space, it's gonna be a little bit different. So that's pretty crazy that we're able to transform a single reference image into a 3D scene. But there's one final workflow that I've been keeping secret this entire video, and it's about to change your life. And it's gonna help you get things done faster and more efficiently. So as you saw in the video, you're able to take a sketch and transform it into a realistic rendering. And then you can connect to various nodes to the different sequences to populate the rendering, upscale it, turn it into a video from an image. But if you recall, I had to manually do each step, and that just took a lot of unwanted time. But what you can actually do to speed up the entire workflow is create systems within Rendair. And so as you can see here, it goes from sketch to render, to populate render, to upscale, and to image. So I've already added in all the text prompts. I have my reference image. And so what I'm actually gonna do is connect all the nodes before I generate anything. And so once everything is connected and properly set up, I'll go down to the bottom right where it says run all, and it has the amount of credits that it uses. And once it finishes one task, like it created the rendering from the sketch, it moves on to the next phase, which is populating the rendering with more people. In under 5 minutes, it generated everything, and all I had to do is click one button. It created my first rendering, and then it populated it with more people. And from there, it upscaled the image and then turned it into a video. So let's check out the final result. And if you want to test out and check out the boards I've created in this video, I'll make sure to share the link in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and welcome to the grind.